So I've pretty much always been a proponent of digital recording. It's just pretty much just the way I started. It's the way I've always recorded anything. I first started, my first DAW was Reaper. You know, a lot of people don't even get to start in a DAW. They start with an 8-track recorder. The first drum kit I ever recorded was Tune Tracks Easy Drummer 1. I have a guitar amp over here, but I've only ever mic'd it up like once, and that was just to test it out, and I didn't even like it that much. I've always recorded either my Helix or my Kemper or used amp sims. So pretty much everything I've done has always been in the box. Really so much so, the only thing I've ever actually recorded with a microphone is an acoustic guitar and a vocalist. And that's pretty much, you know, that's the extent of it. Now with that statement is also the fact that I've never recorded anything to tape. Obviously I'm not talking about an actual tape machine, I don't have one of those. But more so what I'm talking about when I say recording to tape, I'm talking about nothing I've ever recorded has been committed right from the get-go. I've pretty much always had the option of just changing something at pretty much any time during the song production process. You know, you write the song, you add elements to the song through production, you send the song to mixing, and you send the song to mastering, and then release the song. There's these several steps, and pretty much because I've been recording everything in the box and everything's been either MIDI notes or DIs that I've been processing with amp simulations, I've always had the option of going back during whatever process of the song production and just changing the guitar sound. So if I'm almost done mixing a song and for some reason I don't like the guitar sound, I can go back and change that. Same thing with drums, same thing with bass, same thing with synths, pretty much anything. I can just change it whenever I want to during the song production process. And this is really honestly super convenient. It's nice to know that you have a backup and that you can change anything at any point and that you can add stuff. You know, you're not stuck with one thing. That safety blanket is in a way super convenient, but at the same time it's kind of obstructive to pretty much the nature of recording music. Capturing a sound during a time and that being immortalized, it kind of like takes away from that because you can change it at any moment. You're not capturing a sound in a moment, you're capturing information that you can change at whatever point in time you decide to change it. And even more so than that, whenever you think about the fact that you're able to change anything whenever you want to, not only are we faced with pretty much an endless amount of plugins and an endless amount of editing options and just whatever you can possibly think of in a DAW, you can change sounds in any way possible in a DAW basically. So not only are we faced with that, but we're also faced with the fact that we haven't dedicated ourselves to any one sound. So just the option paralysis that you get from the fact that you can change it in any way you want to and you're not technically dedicated to anything, it's kind of hard to get anywhere with the music making process whenever you're just constantly trying to make decisions on what you want to do. So I didn't really realize that these things I'm saying right now, I didn't realize how much they bothered me until just recently, honestly. I just recently was producing a song with a couple of friends of mine, and on that song we used this Novation Mini Nova synthesizer. I know the title of this video is Why I'm Switching to Analog, but some of you may know this is not an analog synth. This is actually an analog modeling synth, or a digital modeling synth rather. However, the same general idea applies to what I'm saying. Just give me a second. I didn't capture any MIDI from the synth whatsoever during the whole recording process. And to be honest with you, I wish I could say that that was a conscious decision, that I didn't want to be held back by MIDI, that I was convicted by what I'm saying right now, and so I decided to pursue that with this synth. But really, I just could not figure out how to send MIDI from this to Logic. I scrolled through the menus several times, and I downloaded drivers, and for some reason, just Logic was not picking up MIDI from this. So we just went straight in and just went with the sounds that we found. So with that being said, every sound that we used on that record or on that song from this synth is the bass sound that we got in the synth. The sounds are from this, and they have been subject to post-processing just like any other sound I would have. Any kind of guitar sound, drum sound. The only way I was able to change it was by mixing it later. I was not able to go back to the songwriting or song production step. I had to stay in the mixing step. I think that's a really big thing about having committed sounds, is that you're able to move from step to step to finish a song more quickly. You're not taking, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or even 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You write the song, put the sounds down, add whatever production techniques you want to add to the song, and then you move on to the mixing. And that's where I find myself in this song now, because I'm not going back to change MIDI notes and change drum sounds and change, you know, synth sounds, because I went straight with the sounds that I had from this synth. So to kind of further take this point home that I have of like option paralysis and being able to move on to the next step and not getting caught on one thing, and that is finding sounds, I can just really remember how how many times my bandmates and I have been either at my drummer's house or at my house or just wherever we've been, getting late at night, we've been writing music all day, writing music forever how long, and we find ourselves wanting to add some kind of synth layers. We want some kind of key sound, some kind of landscape to put a vocal on, whatever that may be. And I've just remembered us just scrolling through the menu in Logic's built-in synth or in Stephen Slate's A&A synth. My drummer's sitting there just playing just notes and sounds, and just he will find something that he kind of likes, he'll sit there for a second, then he'll move on to the next thing. And before I know it, I'm basically just laying in the floor, completely exhausted, and I'm bored because we just got nowhere. We've been wasting a ton of time looking for sounds. Someone may think that using this synth doesn't really fix that problem. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, turning these knobs and using the filter and using the EQ and the built-in compressor and stuff on this, for some reason, just doing that stuff and those motions seemed much more musical, and they were able to keep my attention, and I stayed much more engaged doing this more so than going through presets and trying to tweak presets. We got the sound faster. I don't know why, or if it was just, you know, that one circumstance, but we got the sound faster. A lot of the times, I don't really even like some of the presets in those other things. And, you know, honestly, the sounds in all those, and then how you can change the sounds in those synths, it seems kind of infinite at times. So it kind of goes back to, if, you know, you have too much to pick from, then you can't pick anything. This only has like 300 built-in sounds, and you have a very limited amount of what you can do with it on this. And so, you know, we found the synth layers that we wanted, we found the sub-bass sound that we wanted, and then I was able to process it in the box later. So, I mean, it just made the process much more musical and much more streamlined, in my opinion. So trust me whenever I say I don't have any kind of agenda I'm trying to push with this. This isn't even my synth, it belongs to my church. I don't mean, I'm not completely sold out on this thing. However, I do have my eye on some other stuff. Granted, I just want to say that using this Mini Nova, even though we only used it for a couple of layers on the track, it has changed the way I view analog stuff, I guess, or recording to tape. It's kind of changed the way I plan to work with synths in the future, and just the way I want to record music in the future. I like the idea of having safety blankets and like having backups of stuff. However, recording music and committing to a sound as quickly as possible really just made making music is super efficient, and the process went by way quicker. And you know, I think we were ultimately really satisfied with what we found because we didn't spend a ton of time kind of second guessing ourselves on different sounds. Like I said, I don't own this synth. I do want to own a synth. I plan on getting a Behringer DeepMind 12. It is a synth that we use while we're at Greybox. It has some really, really great sounds. It's polyphonic and it's pretty affordable. So I'm gonna go for that, and I will see what else I dive into in the whole analog world. You know, maybe I'll start recording real amps, or maybe I'll, you know, dive into some hardware preamps or something to bake that into whatever I record. I don't know. It's kind of weird that this little synthesizer got me so excited about recording music again, but it did. It got me really excited about the prospect of just capturing moments and putting that in Logic and mixing it, and just, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do smash the like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video.